You see Jacob Blake walking around his car, followed by at least 2 officers. And then as the door to the driver's side opens and he starts to get in the car, that is when the officer behind him opens fire 7 times in a row from point blank range, really as close as you can get as far as those shots go. Now, as far as we know right now, Blake is still alive in serious condition. And as we understand from both his attorney and from a friend close to the family, that he is still in the ICU at this hour. But again, a lot of anger and frustration over how this is unfolded as we still look for more answers for why.
समोरच्या घरात आम्ही आतमध्ये सगळे त्यांना नको घेऊ बिल्डिंग घे तू आलो जाऊन
West Nile virus is a virus that is transmitted by mosquitoes, and the normal hosts are birds. So the virus multiplies on the birds, and when a mosquito bites an infected bird, can adhere the virus and can transmit the virus to another bird. The problems start when this infected mosquito, instead of biting a bird, bites on a human or a horse. In most of the cases, nothing happens. But in a few proportion of the cases, we can have severe illness. We have been detecting the virus in Andalusia since 2003, but usually we didn't detect cases in humans. Only in 2004 we had 1 case in human. In 2010 we had 2 cases more, and in 2016 we have 3 cases. And in this year we are having a huge number of cases.
Well, he thinks he can do that, as he mainly sees this as a health-related issue that falls under his responsibility. As we know, tensions have escalated in the past few hours. Speaking in a press conference yesterday, the governor said that he would wait a few more hours, and then if the government did not respond, then he would announce the closure of all reception centers. And he said that it's the state's responsibility actually to then relocate all migrants who up until today have been staying in those overcrowded reception centers. So things are eating up indeed. He even threatened actually to appeal against the government's decision in court. A similar counter move is being planned by the government that will hold a special and urgent cabinet meeting on the matter.
Amid concern about a resurgence of COVID-19 cases, Korea is bracing for a powerful typhoon, which is expected to plummet the Korean peninsula this week with strong gusts and rain. Meteorologists say Typhoon Bavi, a tropical storm formed off the coast of Taiwan, could develop into one of the strongest to hit Korea in years. While it is currently categorized as a middle-intensity typhoon, officials warn that Bavi is expected to intensify as it nears the Korean peninsula. Once it hits the southern island of Jeju, the storm could be packing winds of some 210 kilometers an hour. South Korean authorities are warning residents to take strong precautions against the storm. In North Korea, authorities are also warning residents of the approaching typhoon and have reportedly raised its alert level.
Now, 3 suspects aged between 25 and 39 are expected to appear in court on fraud and money laundering charges. They were arrested in Durban on Monday after allegedly pocketed nearly 700,000 rand. The suspects had earlier applied for and received COVID-19 relief funds for their employees.
Some young excavators hit the jackpot. More than 400 gold coins dating back 1,100 years were unearthed during a dig in central Israel. The Israeli Antiquities Authority says the teens who found the coins were volunteers helping to prepare the site where a new neighborhood is planned to be built. The coins were found preserved in a canister that had been secured to the earth with a nail and then buried. They believe that means whoever buried it there planned to retrieve it but never did. Experts say the gold also gives them a glimpse into the past.
The unique thing about this gold hoard is actually that it shows us a lot about international commerce of that time period in the area, which was on the rise and prospering, as opposed to the commerce in Europe at the time, where the use of gold actually started dwindling.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has had to reprimand the country's finance minister today for comments he made about Zambia. After Zambia's President Edgar Lungu fired the central bank governor, Denny Kalialia, Tito Mboweni of South Africa tweeted that presidents in Africa must stop this nonsense of waking up in the morning and fire a central bank governor. You cannot do that. This is not some fiefdoms of yours, your personal property, no. Now, Mboweni further went on to say that that governor was a good fella. Why do we do these things as Africans? The president of Zambia must give us the reasons why he dismissed the governor, or else hell is on its way. I will mobilize. Mr. Mboweni has since deleted his tweets, but he did say that he stood by his statement.
It wasn't your everyday ocean rescue. A 4-year-old girl sitting in an inflatable unicorn raft was spotted in the waters off of Greece's Gulf of Patras. They were very far from land. Thankfully, the inflatable unicorn proved to be surprisingly seaworthy. At first, they appear as just a little dot. The girl held on tightly as a ferry boat got closer and closer. The crew prepped a life preserver, and they were able to reel her in. Finally, the girl and her raft were within reach, and a crewman plucked her out of the water. The unicorn raft was also salvaged. This isn't the ferry's first rescue. Crew also recently saved an older man who'd been swept out to sea on an inflatable mattress. Sadly, we don't have video of that rescue.
Two-time FIFA World Player of the Year Ronaldinho is free to return to Brazil following a 5-month detention in Paraguay after a judge formally accepted a plea deal agreed 2 days ago. The 2002 World Cup winner was arrested in March on charges of entering Paraguay on false passports and faced a 5-year jail term. Ronaldinho and his older brother paid $1.6 million in bail bonds after a month in jail and spent the next 3.5 months in house arrest in a luxury hotel in the capital city of Asuncion. As a part of a guilty plea, Ronaldinho will pay a fine of $90,000 and his criminal record will be wiped clean in Paraguay. He is free to travel out of Brazil, but will have to keep Paraguayan officials in the loop over the duration of his overseas trips. Prosecutors have admitted that they found no evidence to suggest that Ronaldinho played a role in sourcing the illegal travel documents. His older brother, Roberto, though, has to cough up a heavier fine and cannot travel out of Brazil for 2 years and will have a criminal record in Paraguay.